Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Tales of Gaming Addiction, a YouTube channel where we talk about gaming and all that good stuff. Once again, is another shoutcast from the mini LCS, with Chadders being my co-caster. Welcome back to the show.
Hello.
And for those of you who are probably wondering why my voice sounds a bit panicky, as we joined the game about 2 minutes ago, my recording software decided to have a major fart and dropped everything. Relaunched it, panicked. Thankfully nothing's gone on in the first few minutes of the game, and now we're having a slight pause whilst everyone else is having a problem. So, Chadders, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Panicking. Explain, don't you dare die on me again.
A summoner has disconnected.
Oh, and Slimzy has DC'd. So that's why we've paused.
Yeah, we've had two pauses already whilst Brian was panicking, just while we get everyone connected and make sure we can go on with everyone present.
The show must go on. Unfortunately, I can't. But no, it's all good. Although pick-wise, this game is pretty weird, must be said. Mid lane Vega, Swain, Sejuani.
Yeah. What is this? Season 2?
No, I'd go even further. What is this? Season 1?
Yeah.
We just
The mid lane picks especially are interesting.
Although not the kind of thing I'd pick up against if my opponents had picked a Vega. It'd just be, my opponents have picked Vega, right, let's go with an AD. Zed, where are you? Yasuo.
I think we're kind of hoping we have got AP in the top lane and the mid lane, which is the same as the previous game, which whether Brian has uploaded them in order or not, we are gonna refer back to other games as we have done so far tonight, but it just means that we won't spoil them, and if Brian uploads some in the wrong order, then you'll have to just wait until the other ones are all up.
No, I shall assume they'll be uploaded in the right order, because I'll look at the date created point and I'll go off that.
Ah, well, that's pretty cool then. Yeah, we're kind of in the previous game that Eggy Bread played, we had Lulu in the top lane, and this time we've got Viger in the mid lane. Last game it was LeBlanc. So we've got AP in the top and the mid. It's just whether Viger can get the feed that he needs to really make a difference when it goes into mid game.
I don't think he will, personally.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm thinking about what at any point in the game, really. We've got kind of Pantheon with a stun, we've got Lucian who can capitalize, we've got Janna with her various sort of CC, but Viger's E, I think, is completely underrated as an area of effect, like crowd control sort of spell. I mean, if we're kind of in mid game where there's a lot of team fighting, 5v5. You pop an E in the right place, all of a sudden you've got 5 people, 4 people stunned.
Or even better, so you've now just divided the team, which Janna can do with a Monsoon, so now you've got 2 ways of breaking up teams. Which is what Eggy Bread wants to do anyway with a whole double APT comp. You want everyone split up, and then you can go for the specific targets in some way, shape or form. So in this case, it will be, in God's names, Jinx, Swain, maybe not so much Irelia. I mean, Irelia's main weakness is being run over by an M1 Abrams tank. Prior to nerf, which has probably happened in this patch.
Yeah, I think when last game they started to kind of split up the targets, like you've just said, and we had some fantastic monsoons coming out of Janna. I'm really looking forward to seeing Janna on. I'm really looking forward to seeing Dichromate on Janna again. She her ward control was exemplary, and then when it went into late game, she was really throwing herself into the team fights, and it was really something to watch. And I'm trying not to give away sort of like what happened in the previous game too much. I'm just talking about sort of individual players and what we thought of them.
Oh, you love what the chat just said, by the way.
Yeah, I did. The thing about commentators.
And after 10 minutes, everything is still paused.
It's like the game we had with maybe next time versus Lee Syndrome, the first one that I joined in. That was the case, quite literally.
Pause. Right, there's not much more we can talk about. We're running out of things. We've had to break out the League trivia book. Although there's an idea. Trivial Pursuit League of Legends.
Would you have enough questions?
Yes! There is tons of questions. You got questions about the lore.
Oh yeah, no, that's true. And just like Trivial Pursuit, no one would know it. No, I'm just kidding.
No, there will be those who know it off by heart and will contest it, those who just accept it, and those that won't know it.
Yeah.
Still, finally this game is underway. It's just going to be quiet days, quiet farms, everyone's just going to chill and relax. To which I can't blame them.
I'm really interested. I think that our sort of featured matchup is going to be Viger and Swain in that mid lane. I'm really interested to see how that works out. I'm kind of trying to think about spikes and who's got really the power in bot lane, because we have got Jinx and Lucian really good at pushing, both of them. So whether they're just going to balance out, whether it's going to go one way or the other, we don't really know.
This remains to be seen, although Nocromo is actually taking a fair bit of damage. Jinx actually has quite a lot of damage early game, more than you would suspect. Lodge and Colo on Vega and Swain trading stuns and dark magic back and forth. It's going to be a very long game in that mid lane, at least till about level 6, then Vega gets to have some fun.
Yeah, well, that's going to be something that Swain is always going to have to account for, the fact that it's literally point and click, and he can just absolutely delete Swain at any point, which is why it's probably a good thing that we have only one sort of primary AP user, and that's Swain. We have obviously Morgana as sort of a secondary, but
and
the way
Sejuani as well. She has a little bit of AP.
Oh yeah. No, that's true. I would have thought she'd be building more tank though.
Yeah, but it's still there, but it's not going to be enough for Vega to work with, if that makes sense.
Yeah. But it is a really dangerous ability. They're going to have to account for that in team fights, and I'm interested to see how they react to the stun, because I imagine it's sort of, I don't know. I tend to find I don't come up against a lot of Vigers nowadays, so how they're gonna deal with that stun when we kind of get to the point where they're fighting over dragons and such.
The last time I played against a Vega was in an all-for-one mode, and me and my friends were all playing Vegas versus Nidalees.
Wow, who won?
Amazingly enough, we did.
Wow.
The game went for a good hour and a half.
Wow, I really want to watch that game. I really want to see that game.
I did have it recorded. If I still do, I will do something with it.
Yeah, please do.
However, I will probably just leave it there for days to come, because it's just a case of it's sort of first few levels, Nidalee's sort of pushing Vegas, and then Vegas push back, and then Nidalee's push back, and then it gets to base race.
Wow.
Where one of us just went, oh, okay, I'm going to run in, ward, then openly die, respawn, teleport, and just split push as best I can. Although we could now see a fight here as Day Zero gets caught out on that rather horrific Sejuani skin, and so rightfully punished by being killed by Pantheon. So first blood already onto Eggy Bread. Meanwhile in that mid lane, Vega and Swain still continue their Duke quest, and Swain actually does not care about Vega's cage.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just seeing that. I think I flicked over to it a little bit late. But, we have got Pantheon's... Oh no, wait, it wasn't his flash. He used his E. I thought he'd use his flash to get over the wall and
no, he hopped.
Yeah.
He did a pogo stick. That's how he gets around. It's not really a spear he carries. This is people's misconception. It's actually a giant pogo stick. Although, have you seen the fan requests for Pantheon's new skin?
No, I haven't.
Baker Pantheon. His spear is now a French loaf. His shield, I think, is replaced with a bagel. And his helmet is just a big chef hat with eye holes down it. Although Lodge now gets caught out right in the mid lane with Swain transforming into that horrible carrion crow werebird thing. Does manage to pick up the kill up in the mid lane, equaling out the kill score. Bottom lane, Boy Lloyd does his pogo step hop and actually lands a few spears onto Beta Melon. doesn't quite get the damage out, and Dicromate goes very low. Sorry, not goes low in mana, and Olympicos goes low into the health. And Sejuani still is yet to make any jungle presence felt. Lulu with the wall presence already knows that she's around in that top lane, or near that top lane somewhere.
I think Sejuani really needs to be making a difference with sort of her stuns and slows. So in theory she can make a real difference, whereas in practice I'm not really sure. I'd say as far as the sort of ganking strategies, you have got sort of similar sort of strategies, where in the fact that you've got to get a stun and then chase and jumping on, and the very sort of both of them have to sort of dive in a kind of.
Yeah, I know what you mean. They don't want to run in, they want sort of everyone to be close to the lane as possible.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about it, that's something that's missing actually from the jungle roster for League of Legends. Someone who has a long engage. Like, comparable to Jarvan, if that makes sense. In terms
I'd
of
say Vi benefits greatly from like prolonged fights.
well, no, it's not prolonged fights. I mean, like engage distance. I mean, if you look at Jarvan, he can flag drag Cataclysm. That crosses distance greatly.
Yeah.
Zac can elastic slingshot. Let's bounce. Vi's got Vault Breaker and Assault and Battery. I was going to say Police Brutality. That's what Jinx would say. And I'm trying to think. I don't think there's any other jungler play champions that have that kind of. Oh no, Maokai does as well. Twisted Advance.
Yeah, no, that's true.
I knew there was at least 4 as I was going through my head. Still, everything's still all quiet on the Rift. It's 1 for 1. It's only 1,000 gold in it, which really at this point in the game isn't much. Especially when you consider that all it is first blood over for Pantheon. Well, actually, no. The other way is 1,000 gold for In God's Name, and they didn't even get first blood. So, this makes the mathematics later on a bit interesting.
I think it's because they've just got a little bit of CS lead in all 3 of the lanes, and then they've picked up a kill as well. So they're just like 500 gold basically is what's in it at the moment.
Yeah, it's just we got a little bit of gold. That first blood pretty much now has just been neutralised.
Yeah.
Sejuani's still hanging up by that top lane, so we could see an engage as Dicromate goes super deep, but it's going to be Sejuani who makes the move. You're in trouble, it's forced to Wild Growth, gets caught in the Glacier by Sejuani and hangs around under the tower for a little bit too long, goes super low, as does Irelia, so very well played
forces the
by
flash
Lulu.
to get out of the tower range there.
Yeah, very nicely played by Lulu, just managed to hang on long enough to force both Irelia and Sejuani to think twice. Although Vega is yet to make any move on Sway.
Yeah, he's been running up and he's been catching him in the stuns like quite a lot, quite regularly, from what I've been seeing. But doesn't really seem to be capitalising on it. But of course, well, early game we're just seeing Aurelia pushing onto. She just makes it out alive, but I think Aurelia's definitely getting the better of those early game trades.
She'll get there eventually. She's just waiting on a couple of key items for a power spike. This is the thing with Irelia. Once she gets past, I'm trying to think now, power spikes are 8, 12 and 16, I want to say. Around about there.
Yeah, I'd say it's roundabout, yeah.
Yeah, it's around about once you put ranks into your ultimate. But anyway, a little bit of aggression coming down here to In God's Name as Lucian actually starts laying down a little bit of her onto Jinx, forces her to pop the cork back. Although she does have the Super Mega Death Rocket, it's forced to pop the hill. The culling comes through and very nicely blocked out by Morgana just to keep her alive for a little bit longer. And now I'm going to use that giant champagne bottle. Well, no, does not recall. She's actually going to hang on for a little bit longer and try and farm up, but I don't think it's going to be necessary here as Lucian does pick up the kill. He's not going to take that last necessary tower hit to go down, so he's actually already 1 ahead here. Lodge also doing a fair bit of damage out in that mid lane. D0 coming in from the side. Dichromate forced to pop the exhaust onto Irelia. She actually managed to burn a teleport. I didn't even notice. Does not catch
That
up
was
with Lucian.
superb. Sort of
The
the micro play that picks him up with the ultimate. But Aurelia is going to be going down here.
Yep, Aurelia will go down. Sejuani, he's still holding the line. He could get out to Boilo. Boilo could carry on the fight. He's got plenty of health and damage, and Dazo is pretty low on mana, so there'll be no abilities, no way to get out of it. And there we go. One more auto attack will do it. Unfortunately, Sejuani is going to ride off for another day. So note to self, do not get hit by a frozen Poro, it will hurt.
Oh yeah, yeah. I think Lucian sort of did really well there, as we just get another pause coming in. But Lucian did do really, really well to first of all sort of react to the teleport. But if I was him, I would have kept her more around tower range and waited for Janna to maybe help out. Janna hasn't died yet. She actually gave away quite a few early game deaths in trying to keep up her ward game in the previous game that we saw. But no, I think Lucian did really well. And then we've got a CS lead, and he's 1 kill up on Jinx.
Yeah, it's going to give him a huge advantage. Of course, he does work out what this pause is right now. I'm guessing someone's having DC issues. Okay, there is actually no way to know what the DC is. No one is sure. Although, Eggy Bread now also pick up the first tower. They're already ahead in kills. And they're up by 1,000 gold. Item-wise, I can now understand why Viga's not doing so much against Swain. Now, he's only got the Catalyst to protect. He hasn't actually built any AP. So Viga's ultimate is actually wasted.
Yeah, that's true. And I think Swain is building for the sustain as well with Catalyst. That's a good choice in Swain, and he's picked up the Magic Mantle as well. The no Magic Mantle, not the Magic Mantle. So he's got a little bit more protection as well. But we see Jinx is definitely getting the best of the early game push. That's one thing that she is getting, and this is the first tower. Oh, sorry, the second tower of the game.
Yep. First tower for In God's Name, although Jinx now turns around the aggression. Actually, Lucian down to half health. That's a lot of damage coming out from that, and that's only from a short burst. So with a couple more items under her belt, she might be able to trade out with Lucian entirely. The Culling comes through, it forces her to burn the flash. Icy Fires is also forced to flash. That's 2 summoners burn already. Eggy Bread could be quite happy with that little exchange of fire.
That was quite melodramatic.
That was actually, I was expecting a little bit more. But again, it's fine, everything happens really slowly and painfully. Although Eggy Bread are actually going to go ahead and take Dragon at a fairly standard time, even though Sejuani has been spotted hanging around. But a nice play there by Viga. Lands a ton of damage, and even with Ignite burning, it might be enough. Yes, it will be. So Viga now finally gets on the board with a kill for himself. And with Dragon Buff going over to his team as well, this is really going to help push things forward. As you can see, Dichromate, very nice Monsoon, forces Jinx right into the path of Pantheon. It is going to be a quick pick up here. Lucian's going to pick that one up. And the fight breaks out in mid lane as Swain carries on. He's managed to pick up Lulu. He could try and take on Lodge, but with so many teammates around, he's not going to get very far. Although the ultimate from Viga is on cooldown, so he is going to be safe for a while. Although Pantheon isn't likely to let it go. The Dark Mesa does come raining down. And it's going to be a pickup for Lodge. So that was a very nice 1-for-1, but definitely more going in favour of Eggy Bread.
Yeah, I think it was really good with Pantheon and Viga showing that synergy again between Boyloid and Lodge, where the concurrent stuns, they let Viga get his E in, and then as soon as the stun wore off, they kept in stun with Pantheon's E. Both quite long stuns, and they're taking advantage of that. That's really good to see. They've got the kills where it counts as well. 2 on the jungler, 2 on the mid laner, 2 on Lucian as well. So it means that they've got the gold advantage in those lanes. If maybe they haven't got the gold advantage in mid, but in the bot lane they've got about a gold advantage of about 1,000. They've got 300 in the jungle.
Indeed. Now things are starting to happen once again as Bonnie, a nice big chunky minion wave is going to go down. They got the Grand Skyfall comes through. Actually gets a perfect land onto Beja Melon, so that's a very dead jinx. The culling comes through from Lucian as well. He manages to pick up Morgana, so a nice quick and easy 2-0 coming out here for Eggy Bread. They're actually starting to pull a little bit quicker than they did in their previous game against Shoryuken.
So they're taking the bot tower and they're trying to put the pressure in on mid. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to take mid as well. I imagine they won't, but I'm interested to see where the rotation comes now from Janna. Janna putting in a deep ward. That's where Dichroma really has the strength, as we're seeing an engage in mid lane around this tower.
Yeah, nothing much is going to happen. Boyloid did pop his head up in the middle to see if they can pick off Swain, but Swain already backed off, and that was the power of Vega you can see right there. Even though Swain's only just got himself a run of ages, Vega's ultimate will absolutely wreck other mages as all 4 members of Eggy Bread get frozen under the tower, but Lucian very quickly just reacts and picks it up and gives his team tower number 4 but 3 for his own team, as now they also now push for the mid lane inner tower. They actually start doing a fair bit of damage, still down to about 25% health. The cage comes out from Vega as well, just to deny the chase, and very good zoning as well. Allows Janna to land a Howling Gale straight up the middle.
I think the main thing that you really want from In God's Name is you want more kills on Jinx here, because she is really powerful and has her spike in mid game, and so as we see more of these team fights, you really want to get some kills on her so that she can be a force in those fights.
Yeah, looking across at the items, Jinx, as he said, is strong. She hasn't even finished off her Infinity Edge yet. She's still hanging on to a long sword as well. She hasn't even got Doran's Blade. Lucian, meanwhile, has got Infinity Edge finished. He's got the Brutalizer, so he's going to have plenty of armor pen. It's going to make everybody on God's Name suffer, as they haven't built any armor to speak of. Aurelia would normally be the tank in this situation, but she's going straight for her Trinity Force. Sejuani's only just got her Rengar's Trailblazer with the health upgrade.
She's got the Glacial Shroud though, so we can assume she's going to be building more tanky as we'd expect.
Yeah, but it's not going to be enough once Lucian gets hold of more armor shred items. He's just going to he's just going to ignore Sejuani in the fight. He's just going to go to Vega Pantheon. Have fun with jungler. I'm going to wreck the backline and demolish everything else. Still, all things considered, In God's Name are doing a very good job of just delaying out and holding on to as long as they can for the best possible engage. Although Icolo does get caught in the Vigor cage and goes down even with Dark Binding, and Slimsy also gets blown backwards by Dichromate's Monsoon. Unfortunately, the engage does get split up here. Very nice wild go allows Dichromate to stay in the fight, lands a Howling Gale. Aurelia will go down, but everyone sits in that tormented sword for a little bit too long. They are starting to take a little bit of a burn, but it does mean that Eggy Bread pick up 2 for nothing in that short engage.
I think again within the team fights, it's about the concurrent stuns. They had the Monsoon, then they had the knock-up, then they had the stun from Viger and the stun from Pantheon, and it all adds up. You can see the armors at the moment stacking on Lucian. It's just that they're all really on the same wavelength. Lucian is now 4-1, Pantheon is now 4-0, and they're taking away the enemy blue buff. They're going to give that over to Boyloid on Pantheon.
It's going to give him a nice bit of cooldown reduction, means Grand Skyfall can come in a little bit sooner ahead of the next major team fight. Assuming there is going to be one, which I suspect will be around Dragon momentarily, although it could also happen right in the jungle now. Members of Eggy Bread are hanging around. They want to make sure that In God's Name are completely left out of the loop. They currently have no vision, as you can see on the screen. It is all dark. So as far as they're concerned, nothing is happening. They just think Eggy Bread have backed, and very close super mega death rocket from Jinx. A couple of seconds sooner, that might have actually been a excellent dragon steal.
But they do have the timer, that's the important thing. They've seen them at Dragon, so they have, even if it's only a rough time, they have a timer, and we're seeing the fighting breaking out now.
Yep, Icrollo takes a lot of damage. Vega's ultimate is actually now starting to wreck face. Although Yo Trouble does go down, even with the wild growth, it is not going to be enough. Irelia's power spike now comes on through Trinity Force. So this could be the turning point here. In God's name, might actually have a plan here in a feed to win strategy. They're starting to take down that mid lane tower. It's already down to half health. Dicromate is now caught in the dark binding. She tries to move anywhere. She will be caught in the Flame Chompers. Jinx goes down though. So Lucian very happy with that pickup. So that's a 1-for-1 trade after that very short team fight.
I was kind of expecting to see a Rod of Ages on Viger as well, out of that Catalyst, which we have seen on Swain, but we haven't seen on Viger, which I think has left him squishy and maybe lacking a little bit of sustain. I think that's the explanation for the 30 CS deficit that we see against Swain in the mid lane. But he is doing alright in the teamfights, he's where he needs to be, and we see Pantheon ult in and just miss out on a stun there on Swain, I think.
Yeah, whilst on Swain also, Morgana very quickly realised, oh, I'm in stun range, Black Shield, spell immune. Unfortunately, it does mean that Black Shield is down for a few more seconds, so if they choose to engage, there's going to be no way for any members of In God's Name to survive a couple of magic hits from Vega.
I think the all of them, other than Janna, have kept their vision trinkets, and they're using the stealth wards as well to kind of keep, and the vision wards to keep an eye on objectives. But they're doing really well to ward where they need it when they want to fight. You can just see a lot of sort of wards, the blue wards, sprinkled around, and it's simply from that was a very powerful critical hit there on Jinx. But it's just sprinkled around where they intend to fight.
Yep, and we can see that Lucian managed to take down that mid lane. So he's trying to 1v1 day 0, but unfortunately he's not going to survive much longer. He does get shut down. He went 6-1, I think, before he finally fell. Did very well. He's 175 CS, got Infinity Edge and your moves, so he's doing the same build from the previous game. He's actually starting to lay down the pain. And Lodge now starting to show the pain that Vega can unleash. Unfortunately, a little bit slow in trying to catch Irelia in the stun. Pays for his life and actually gives shutdown gold over to Swain, so that's going to bring him back into this game a little bit there.
I think the main thing is though, the Jinx, Beja Melend on Jinx is still a long way behind, and that is really impacting on them. They're kind of struggling, they're just getting out damaged, not necessarily outplayed, but out damaged in these fights, and they really need to get that stacked up. Jinx needs to either find a method of free farming the lanes that are coming in towards the towers, because that gold difference is really starting to hurt her, and you can see that in the fights.
Yeah, item-wise as well, still going through it all. If we look at the supports, Morgana's actually gone straight in for a Seeker's Arm Guard to try and counter a Lucian, whereas Janna's just gone, why not, and it's got Boots of Swiftness. She's already got Talisman of Ascension, and looking to build, name of the item card out of my head, the Spirit Visage. Oh no, it wouldn't be Spirit Visage. The name of the item has gone right out of my head. I'll know it when it once the build's nearly complete. But looking at the top laners though, Lulu's actually gone for full AP and cooldown reduction build. She's got Morello, Numbicon and the Themes, so she doesn't need anything else now. She can just get like a Death Cap or something, or even a Rower herself and top it off. Irelia has now finished off her Trinity Force and is ready to start building tanky and become something to fear later on. And Sejuani's now got the Frozen Heart, so now she's building tanky. So, but it might be too little too late at this point in the game, with Eggy Bread being double kills ahead, but the gold count is still only 5,000 gold, and Major Melon, one hit, half health, ouch! That's
he has built Yamumu's again, which is something that we saw in the previous game, and Viger takes down Jinx there. Jinx is now 0-6, not really having a good day out. I think I was just going to comment on how they're leaving Lucian on his own to kind of push into these towers, and we saw him, that's when he got the big critical hit on Jinx, but they collapsed very, very quickly, and they collapse in a very synchronized way, so that they're all there, and they kind of. So, I think they're almost using Lucian as almost kind of as bait, and kind of saying, "Oh, our ADC is pushing on his own," and then as soon as he feels any pressure, they collapse downwards, and that's where they're getting a lot of their kills.
So you're saying Lucian's a nice tasty bit of chocolate rain?
Yeah, I think so.
I couldn't resist that one. It just pops in my head when you said they were using Lucian as bait. Still, Lucian actually does very good there. Pops out the colour, doesn't get much. Blood manages to pick up, slings off to the side. Day Zero is caught wide here. Goes incredibly low. Lucian is also low likewise. But those continual stuns are really starting to show here. You're in trouble, manages to pick off Day Zero. Major Melon goes down to Lodge. Cololo is actually still continuing the charge and holds on for a little bit longer. A tower goes down up into the top lane. And that's actually really strong sway. He's actually managed to hold back that siege and force the remaining 4 members of Eggy down to 25% health.
I think that was really just... But when you've got a Swain in a situation like that where you're trying to siege, then that is always going to happen. But they have given up a dragon. Oh, but we're seeing the teleport coming in. I don't think they're going to be able to steal.
No,
now it
Slimzy
really is
can't
feeling
steal,
a little bit
but
too...
Slimzy's feeling brave could clear up. I mean, look at that. It's a lot of red flashes.
Yeah.
Super Mega Death Rocket.
Oh,
double kill!
Jinx. That was good. I think we could, if I would have had a little bit more map awareness myself, I could have seen that flying across, and maybe Aurelia just went in to keep them there, but that was really well played. And now Jinx picks up, unfortunately doesn't pick up any shutdown gold, but is off the mark. It's now 2 and 7.
But now Boyloid and Lucian, the two well-fed players on Eggy Red, trying to hold this tower. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough. In God's name, just charge right in, do not care, pick up the kill, and actually take out the tower super quick.
And they're letting Jinx farm as well. You can see in the bottom lane, she's just mopping up that farm, which means she's now got 2 kills. She's going to get a lot of gold. She's currently holding 1500, which is enough for... Possibly, I'd say that's enough to finish her Phantom Dancer. And that's going to hype up a lot of damage, especially now with the IE that she's already got.
I suspect actually she's going for the static chip as Boyloid now goes unstoppable, takes out Morgana. Slimzy is also going to go down, so in God's name's counterattack sort of flops here. Day Zero is also going to go super low, forces Baron to go a little bit aggro heavy, and actually Eggy don't care, they're going to do it anyway. A 28-minute Baron, they are 11 kills ahead, 5k gold, only 1 tower in it. Might as well if they're feeling brave. Jinx and Lucian though are going to have a disagreement about this bottom lane tower. Jinx doesn't think it was appealing. It's not part of the village aesthetic and decided to tear it down without planning permission because that's what she does. Swain meanwhile was hanging up all the way by Baron Pit. Jinx is going to go down and he's going to try and steal. Come on, Swain.
The main problem is that they've taken way too long to do this Baron now.
They
and Swain is coming in. I would not be surprised if Swain steals it here.
I wouldn't be surprised either. He's actually doing a very good job of mopping up, but it is going to be Boyloid who picks it up. He's actually still pretty healthy. He decides not to engage on Swain in any way, shape or form. Just keeps his focus on Janna and takes her out. So very, very well played there.
The one thing I think they need to see more of, I think In God's Name are kind of throwing themselves into these fights a little bit too much now. Swain is a good force. They've got Swain. It means they're not going to just sit there and turtle. They have got the force with them, with that pick, and with the amount of kills that he's got, as Lucian gets boosted by the red buff there. But what they need to do is they need to start warding and start contesting these objectives, because it's those trinket wards and the slight wards that Eggy are putting out. That's really what's getting them the fights that they want. So if In God's Name start getting the fights that they want, then this is going to be a very, very close game. Although they have got to wait out Baron now, that's going to be an issue for them.
Yeah, Eggy are going to quite happily push with Baron buff minions. Although I have noticed something just interesting. Have you noticed all the trinket wards haven't been upgraded yet?
Yeah, I have
We're
noticed.
30 minutes in and they haven't been upgraded. Have they been so focused on just getting items they've forgot about the original wards?
I think the technical word is an afterthought.
Indeed, it would be an afterthought. But speaking of afterthought, I think it was an afterthought for In God's Name to defend their base a little bit here. They do lose the inhibitor tower. You can see it just collapses into a heap. You're in trouble. Is going to live up to his namesake now. It takes a lot of damage. Takes the transcendent blaze from Irene. It's actually forced super low. Goes down to the Ravens of Swain. And the Sejuani will pick up a couple more people. Aurelia goes in for the dive. Unfortunately, no one's really around to follow up. Morgana comes in with the binding. Swain is still off to the side. He's actually laying down a fair bit of damage. Major Melling though gets caught in the Vega stun and will get removed nice and cleanly. And now Dichromate takes a little bit of damage. The Grand Skyfall comes in. Pantheon misjudged that a little bit. Icy Fires dives into the jungle and Pantheon just instead goes straight through the lane. Now Icy Fires is going to take a nasty bit of damage from Vega. There we go. Gets himself onto a killing spree, and now Eggy Bread are going to pick up the inhibitor and just probably back away from Sway. At this point, I know I would.
And that was an incredible stun. And I think Viger just to react quickly, and then for Pantheon to jump in and get the stun as well, and then Pantheon ended up with the kill. Again, this is the thing with these teams. They're getting kills onto the people they want to have kills. I mean, Aurelia can go in and she can clean up, but she's on 4-6. But at the end of the day, they've got kills on the jungler, on the mid laner, and on the ADC. And that's where the power's coming from. That's where the damage is coming from. And that was one hell of a stun from Viger to save himself. And Pantheon gets out as well.
This is the thing with some of the players in this tournament and everything else. We have players that have been on point. I mean, we've got Quotes on Lee Syndrome, on point with Leona, able to be where she needs to be to land stuns. We've got Lodge and Vega spot on where the cage needs to be, and in the previous game playing as LeBlanc, being able to juke so well when it mattered. I think if we put those two together on a team, you're going to have a really nasty support mid lane.
Yeah, you really are.
Now,
I think
just needs an AD carry to complete the triumph. But
it would be. It's an interesting thought of like we're only still in the group stages, but to kind of think about like who the dream team is, and who's gonna be a part of that. But Dichromate this game 0-2-22. You can't argue with that. The ward coverage is good. She's been keeping down or more so in the other game she was keeping down on that. And she starts engages, there she hasn't got much out of it, but she will pop that talisman and she will get some good engages. And it's interesting to see whether or not they can steal this dragon here. I don't think they're going to get it.
Super low. It is going to be a dragon over for In God's Name. Here's Day Zero. Is forced to run away. Yarn and Blaze nearly makes contact. Boyloid does manage to take out Jinx, so that's one major source of damage gone. Now the only one left to take out would be Swain, and then really all they have left to deal with is a very squishy mage and two not so damage dealing tanks.
I think if I was Major Melon there, I would be asking, I would be asking first of all my team, but I'd be asking myself kind of. She seemed to be the last one to disengage. They kind of had this fight with Dragon, and we're getting another one on the tower at the moment with Swain yet again holding them off. But she went in and was just kind of left standing there as the team split. And we said it at the start of the game: if the team splits, that's what Eggy Bread won. And they split, and it just meant that Jinx was just jumped on. She was just there as just a target, and that, I think that and the goal difference is why she's on 210 at the moment. She needs to be getting the protection from her team in order to really put out the damage that they need.
Yeah, this is going to be the thing now for England, saying they need to find a way of keeping grouped up even when the split is coming. They're doing a very good job though of holding off these sieges. They're pushing minion waves out nice and cleanly. They still have the top lane held strong here. Although Eggy Bread will keep on pushing. Baron's going to be up in a minute's time, so I suspect that'll be the next major point of focus when the time comes. On Major Melon again gets caught out, and Ouch! That was just painful to watch. Vega's now starting to get out of control.
We're starting to see kind of the Viger last power spike, really, that is it just makes him absolutely deadly, especially with that ultimate. I don't really know what the cooldown is. I might just check that now.
I can't remember off the top of my head. I used to know it.
The cooldown at the moment is 82.5 seconds. So it's still quite a big cooldown, but he's using it when it counts. He used it there to take out the ADC, even if she's not that dangerous at the moment, but he's using it in all the right ways to do all the right things.
Yeah, he's using it when the stun lands. It's stunned straight into the ultimate. Don't waste it. After all that, once they're stunned, it's your only chance you know it's going to definitively hit the target you want. Now we see though a team fight here going to break, hopefully, right at the top lane. It does split out Boyloid versus Swain, with Major Melee coming around to the side. Forces drop the Blade Chompers off to the side. Unfortunately, it is going to pick up nobody. So it is going to be a free tower for Eggy now. They've got all the towers in the lane. There's now base towers are left. And they're going to push straight through into the mid lane. And actually, no, they're just going to hang off on the minion wave with the inhibitor respawned.
And if you see where the wards are again, it's right where they wanted to fight. And it meant, I think it meant that Pantheon stepped back and dealt with Swain and just fended them off a little bit. And Swain was busy trying to deal with Pantheon, and that's what got them the free tower. So, if you look at what made it for them, the thing that got them the free tower was Pantheon, and the reason he needed to be there was wards. But we're seeing another fight on the inhib now.
Yep, and the fight doesn't work out. The Culling comes out from Lucian. The Soul Shackle's trying to come out from Morgana. Unfortunately, he's not going to pick anyone important, so he'll take out Lucian from the fight. This is really good for in God's name. They managed to pick up 3 kills. Can they pick up 4 and take out Lodge? Yes, they even get the shutdown goal. Does go on to Irelia, unfortunately, but at the end of the day, that's goal onto somebody, and it means Vega's out for another 40 seconds. So time to capitalize. Go for the push right down through the lane. They have got the numbers for it. Swain is tanky, Sejuani is tanky. Jinx and Irelia can both deal damage. And with nobody here, this is going to be a quick and easy inhib tower for In God's Name.
And they protected Jinx in that last fight. That was the key thing. They protected her, she picked up a kill, which is something that she desperately needs to bounce out like gold. And they're going to get an inhib from it, because late game, big respawn timers, and they're looking straight to go for the next move. And I think they might even be going Baron. They've checked the blue.
They are looking at Baron. They're going to instead recall a few people just to go and hold the line after all their lanes are now exposed, especially that bottom lane you can see on your screen. So there was a big blob of blue moving towards a tiny blob of red, and that normally spells trouble. Although very smart play coming out here from Eggy. They are going to start doing Baron now since they have the timer. But there is a small red ward right there, so In God's Name knows what's going on. But Eggy aren't backing down either. There's plenty of vision and coverage just by men alone. But they need to watch out for Day Zero. This could be a smite still coming through. It is going to be a Baron for Eggy though. And now In God's Name are in a spot of trouble.
I think this is where the game is. I wouldn't say over, but dealing with a second Baron, and the thing is the tower's down this time, the turtle has been broken, and because at the end of the day they're trusting in Swain to hold them off, to hold the siege. They need to keep looking after Jinx is what I was going to say, and they're just collapsing on her now, and she won't even survive the Vigo.
Nope, and even when this team fight breaks out, it's not going to be much. Day Zero, as you can see there, just gets absolutely annihilated, down to 25% HP. Still a lot of health for her, but it's just how quickly she went down, though. Wasn't a lot they could do. The Dark Binding does come out from Morgana, manages to clip onto Vega, allowing the catch, but Day Zero is going to go down. It's a really long chase as well. That's from Baron all the way, from Dragon all the way through to top lane in their tower, so quite an impressive chase. And now Swain is doing his level best to hold on as long as he can, but he's not going to get very far. He's taking too much damage, it's too much for the old man to take. He's going to go down now. It's just Irelia and Morgana to hold the line here. And that ain't enough. They're going to lose the inhibitor and possibly one more lane.
I would say no, because they haven't got the lanes in their favor. I think they kind of got that inhib out of an unexpected fight. Had it come out of a planned fight where they were trying to force a fight, then maybe they would have gotten somewhere. But all the lanes are pushing in the opposite direction to what they need, so they might take Dragon, and I think they're going to recall and see about a different kind of push.
Yeah, I just noticed that myself actually. I thought, oh, the lanes were all pushing up a second ago, they're just on the top. There's a big, healthy, juicy minion wave, which I think Lucian or Pantheon might want to sink their teeth into pretty soonish, just to get a nice big bit of healthy golden cup. Although they're going to let this swing over to Looong, who's picked up a Lich Bane. This is amazing. It's a Lich Bane on Looong.
That is certainly an interesting thing. I think that's one thing where Aurelia is trying to put herself forth as a damage dealer, but also another tank for In God's Name. Whereas Lulu, in the last game and in this game, has just been, she's built straight up AP. She's farmed. She's always pushed 200 farm, and no, she remains a damage dealer. And also that Lulu ultimate is it saves a lot of people. It really does.
So now we're just waiting to see what Eggy Bread are going to do. They're just hanging around for now. They're clearing out jungle, clearing out wards, securing what has been a dominating vision war up to this point here. Although In God's Name are doing a very good job.
Oh, they're setting a trap.
Siege. Could we see someone make the mistake and die horribly? Is it going to be Day Zero? Is it going to be Henry, the mild-mannered janitor? For those of you that don't get it, that's a Hong Kong Fooey reference.
Yeah, that's impressive. I got it.
I feel old for saying that. I remember Hanna Barbera cartoons. Although I think that Ingolsen might remember this team quite a little bit more at this present point here. Dichromate is forced him onto under the tower for a little bit of help, unfortunately. Bruce, all of Ingolsen right into Eggy Bread's face. Major Mello manages to pick up a kill. Lucian also manages to pick up Sejuani to the side. Super Mega Death Rocket goes well up to the side. George Trouble is forced to run. Biggie goes down. Lucian is now right in the middle. Does manage to pick up Jinx. Oh wow, that was 2 for 2, but so
I think
much.
If Lucian had gone down there, we would be looking at a very, very different game right now. We have got the minion wave pushing bot lane, so neither team are in a position, at the moment, neither team are in a position where they can, like, decisively win. I think if Lucian goes down here, they're really going to be struggling.
Yeah, he's trying to get some distance between himself and Aurelia. Does manage to get it. Red team do lose the tower though. It is going to be that top lane tower. As we saw, that's where the fight happened. So all the damage was done, and that bottom lane inhibitor for Eggy Bread is now down to half health. So this game really getting to the wire. This is good.
I think if they can deal with the one person who isn't going down and fights so much is Pantheon. When they start taking down Pantheon, then they start taking down Lucian. That's where I think a victory or a potential victory is going to come for In God's Name.
We'll just have to wait and see now what In God's Name will do, of course, to make that situation happen. They know they need to target Pantheon. He has got a slight bubble. I'm just trying to work out where that's... Oh, it's Banshee's Veil bubble. That's a lot of Banshee's Veils, actually, floating about on the map today.
I think they need it mainly for the ultimate coming out from Sejuani. That can be, especially when they're moving as a 5 and they've got these wards down trying to force fights, that can be very debilitating for them.
Oh, it wasn't that. It was just the fact that Janna's got one, Lucian's got one, Pantheon's got one, Swain's got one as well. Vega can get one if he so desires. He has got a free item slot and he's not filled with anything. He's actually got lots of AP. Just trying to think what else he could go for Leandri's Torment if he so desires.
I think I would, if I was Viger, I would definitely figure off with that Banshees. They're just trying to get all the lanes pushing in their favour again, but they've got Lulu on the opposite side of the map. Whether she has got teleport up, and she has, I think when we see the Lulu teleport, we're going to see a really decisive fight here, but they are backing off.
Yeah, just gonna back away for now. They're gonna let Lulu split push him. That wave going in and following waves might be enough to start taking down the inhibitor, but maybe. Unfortunately, it's not going to be the case now with Swain there, and Aurelia also going to be in the middle of Proxy, and Super Mega Death Rocket barely does anything to Pantheon. He just sort of takes it to the face like a man.
I think it was the Banshee's fail that just completely...
I don't care. All I can see is this Pantheon just sitting there just going, yes, hit me again. That really got the kink out my back. That's how tough he is right now. Grand Skyfall coming in. Is it going to be a stun straight onto Jinx? Yes, it is. It's going to be a very dead Jinx as well. So Eggy gets the first kill of a very rushed teamfight here. Go for one inhibitor, now rotating around to the top lane. They want to get rid of that inhibitor as well. They're feeling very confident that they can take it. Starting to push straight on through now. So 2 inhibitors down, Baron is up, Dragon's up in 30 seconds. I wouldn't be surprised if Eggy just went ahead, did Baron, and swung around to Dragon, and pushed towards the end game here.
I think this is a case though that they mentioned it a lot this patch, and they mentioned it during competitive play as well, where teams are tending to, if there's not a potential win, but if they could push in, if they can do that, and they had the wave with their advantage, took out 2 inhibs, and they'll come back and they'll take Baron. But in that, they give the opportunity for a steal, and it is warded. Thankfully, Pantheon takes it.
Yeah, and now we've got the fight in the Baron pit. Swain finally goes down after so many siege defense. It isn't going to be enough though, as Icy Chews with his forces on his, but watching his Zonia's right in the middle of everybody else is going to get removed. Vigor with the cage gets it an assist into that now, with all 5 members of Eggy pushing up through the base. They can start looking towards taking out the Nexus towers, although they need to get rid of Slimsy first. It actually takes a lot of damage. It's going to be Lucian that picks up the kill. Jinx is going to be the next target. Goes down the Super Mega Death Rocket. It's sadly not going to be enough. And this is going to be the end of Sejuani as well, I suspect. And then we go triple kill for Lucian. That's going to be 1 tower down, 2 towers down, the Nexus down soon after. GG, well played to Team Eggy. So, thank you very much for watching, ladies and gentlemen. Remember to like, favourite, subscribe and all that YouTube jazz, and we'll see you for the next match.